In this semi-historic video, we will be breaking down the first paragraph of the 80-20 dating rule from the original source of OkCupid's OkTrends blog. However, this will only be part one of dozens of videos that will be upcoming in this series. If you want to see the full original source in its totality without my expert analysis, click on this other video on my channel later on. So, let's begin. You notice the blog post was posted on November 17th, 2009 by a guy by the name of Christian. Who is Christian? It was actually this guy, Christian Rudder, one of the founders of OkCupid. Now then, you will notice OkTrends was the official blog of OkCupid. To be clear, Christian was an actual writer for the blog despite being a top executive and co-founder at OkCupid. His background, as stated above, includes a bachelor's degree in mathematics from Harvard. Why does this matter? As one of the founders and executives at OkCupid, he had skin in the game. He was going to make sure to double and triple check the information he was releasing to the public on the 80-20 rule to make sure it was of high quality. Moreover, because of his math background, it adds more credibility to the accuracy of the data displayed in the full blog post. Later on, he actually compiled these original blog posts along with other similar analytical data into a New York Times bestseller book. Now then, back in 2009, OkCupid was considered to be a top-tier, well-respected online dating website. Again, during this time period, it was still only a website. Even back then, however, OkCupid was known to be highly analytical in its approach to the development of its dating platform. However, their analytical approach to the development of their website isn't the same type of analytical approach that many modern popular dating apps, such as Tinder, employ. In other words, part of the reason this original source of the 80-20 rule is a holy grail as opposed to more recent iterations of it is because there wasn't any real negative agenda behind it. I would know. I was there. I was on the OkCupid website as a user in 2009. The reality is, more modern studies or posts on YouTube or on websites or even in so-called scholarly university-released white papers oftentimes have its authors pushing an agenda, usually a negative one, behind their stuff. You have to remember, the 80-20 rule over time has become a core pillar in Manosphere theory. The Manosphere has significant opposition from all corners of the world, and thus, these more recent iterations of the so-called 80-20 rule cannot be trusted for this reason. In other words, because OkCupid in 2009 just kind of tossed together the 80-20 rule blog post without really fully thinking about the potential repercussions, both positive and negative, of having done so, it is simply more pure in nature. I will be addressing this more in future parts of this 80-20 rule series. As you can see by the chart, when this original 80-20 rule blog post was written, OkCupid was essentially top 10 in the world in terms of users in late 2009. You notice nowhere on this chart is Tinder or other popular modern dating apps such as Bumble. The implications of this will be discussed in future videos in this series. The overall point of this is that OkCupid was a credible dating platform in 2009. It wasn't some rinky-dink dating website. Outside of the Manosphere, here are two high-profile situations where the 80-20 rule was brought up. Let's roll the clips.
when you have a group of men, the lower half of attractiveness of men in online dating, which has doubled, now it's about half of relationships. And the top 20% of men in terms of attractiveness get about 60% of the interest.
80% of men online as below average in attractiveness, whereas men rate 50% of women as below average in attractiveness.
The first generation of iPhones was released in June 2007. However, just because the first iPhone came out during this time period, it doesn't mean apps, as we understand them to be today, existed. The importance of this will be clear in a bit. Remember, the original 80-20 rule blog post on OkCupid was written in November 2009. This blog post was posted on OkCupid's website when an OkCupid app did not exist. Why does this matter? Well, it is because it was much more tedious to upload photos to the OkCupid platform for both genders. A desktop/laptop and a regular standalone camera was needed in order to take profile pictures in order to upload them to the website. In other words, the data accumulated by Christian was more raw, untouched in nature. There wasn't any mass manipulation of the original data collected, which eventually became this historic blog post on the 80-20 rule on OkCupid's website. In other words, during this 2009-ish time period when the data was getting collected, the iPhone/other smartphones simply weren't elite enough in order to be able to take high-quality images. And thus, during the 2009-ish time frame, men and women's behavior on these dating websites was more pure, innocent, and authentic. If you want to see the untouched, unmodified, 100% complete, original blog post without my expert analysis, go check out this video on my channel. Until next time, peace out.
A couple wicked rhymes that I wrote really helped the nigga shine with my foes. This nigga I was broke, easy heard us go, and easy said, whoa, y'all niggas dope, 5 niggas low, 5 killer flow, y'all finna blow.